Alicia May, and this is Experience, where we're going to jump into the experiences of volunteers and producers of CTN, who have supported CTN over the past years. Today, I'm here with Janine DeLay and Nancy Shuey from the League of Women Voters, who CTN has been partnering with since the 90s, which is almost 20 years. That's quite exciting. Thanks for coming on the show, ladies.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Great. So tell me, what exactly is the League of Women Voters?
The League of Women Voters is an organization that began right after women got the right to vote in 1920. And it is a grassroots, nonpartisan political organization. By being nonpartisan, it means we never support parties nor candidates. But we do study and take positions on issues like education or transportation. Our main goals, our main mission is to protect voting rights, to make sure that people have the right to vote, to make sure that voting is convenient and accessible, and we ensure that voters have the information that they need when they go to the polls. And that's why we work with CTN, so that we can provide forums where people can see the candidates, hear how they sound, hear what they have to say, and then make an informed decision at the poll. So those are our main goals.
That's great. I think that's so important.
And to add to what Nancy said about our inception and our beginnings, I brought in a replica of a hat that would have been worn by a suffragist in the early 1900s at a suffrage march. And in 2011, the League put on and mounted an exhibit on the history of the suffrage movement in Washtenaw County called Liberty Awakes. And this was one of the artifacts that we used, and so I'm going to put it right here. It represents the colors of the women's suffrage movement, yellow, purple, and white. And as Nancy suggested, the League is an offshoot of the American Women's Suffrage Association. It is almost 100 years old, and yet it still remains vital as a civic educator. And one of the reasons why it remains relevant is because of partnerships such as the ones that we have with CTN.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. And I think it's so important that you guys cover primaries, general elections, and Nancy was telling me before the show a lot more, right?
Yes, we do forums outside of CTN. We did one at the Ypsilanti Freight House last week on the Regional Transit Authority proposal. We've done forums at the Ann Arbor Public Library. We did one for the AAATA proposal, and just last week or 2 weeks ago we did a forum on participatory budgeting.
Wow.
So we're busy.
Right.
We've been very busy this fall.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I think this fall, 2016, you're doing like 15 or more shows just with CTN, so I can't imagine what else you're doing in the community. It's great. We thank you for it.
Yeah, we have a forum palooza going on right now on CTN, which is really great.
Yeah, great information.
So, and I think that we're really pleased to have this partnership. I know that I began in 2006 as the forum coordinator for our Canada's forums and issues forums that take place at CTN. And I think what's really great about our partnership is the longevity of the people who are here. So for example, Greg McDonald, Rob Cross, Tim Nagai are all people with whom we have worked over the years, and those kinds of partnerships are important simply because we respect each other's expertise and then we learn from each other. So that's really helpful.
Definitely, and I think they just keep getting better as you go. Well, let's take a look at Board of Education candidate forum that was from September of 2016.
Good evening. My name is Sally Allen, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of the Ann Arbor area. I welcome you to tonight's forum featuring candidates for the Ann Arbor School Board. The candidates will be on the ballot in the general election on Tuesday, November 8th. We are broadcasting this evening from the studios of CTN in Ann Arbor. The League of Women Voters is pleased to be sponsoring these forums. The League is a nonpartisan, grassroots organization that does not support candidates or parties, but we do take stands on issues that we have studied. One of the League's important goals is to assist voters in making informed choices at the polls, and thus we bring you tonight's program. Volunteers from the League of Women Voters are facilitating tonight's forum. Our moderator this evening is John Chamberlain, who will explain the process from here. John?
Thank you, and welcome. Because there are 8 candidates for the 3 open seats on the school board, we decided to split the group in half and do 2 4-candidate forums. So those looking at the screen, if you haven't seen the other one, look for it. This particular session, the second one, features 4 candidates, and we have drawn lots to determine the order in which they will speak, and they are going to move from left to right, and we will then rotate. So the 4 candidates are Harmony Mitchell, Deb Meckscott, Don Wilkerson, and Hunter von Volkenberg. The process we will use tonight is as follows. Each candidate will offer a 2-minute opening statement. They will have 90 seconds each to respond to questions, which I will ask. Each candidate will then have 1 minute for a closing statement. Representatives of the League will serve as timekeepers. So Zoe Benke with the signs and Harvey Summers with the iPad will let you know when you have 30 seconds to go, 15 seconds to go, and the stop sign will indicate that you're.
Wonderful. I mean, a lot of planning goes into putting these together. This was just part 1 of part 2, or 2 of 2, right, for the Board of Education candidate forum. So what does it take to make this forum happen?
Well, first of all, we have to secure the candidates, and actually Greg and I work hand in glove on that. So Greg gives times when your production people are available, and then we contact the candidates. By and large, because it's a local event, candidates are very keen to get their names and their ideas out there. So once we do that, in terms of securing the candidates, we get volunteers from the League. And so we have about 96 members right now. So what we're doing is we're asking volunteers to be timers, to serve. As you saw there, the moderator runs the show, and the League representative you saw there are all people who are involved in putting the event together, and then it happens successfully when we come to the studio and we give tips about the studio. We've learned over the years that it's not a good idea to wear stripes. It's not a good idea to wear dark colors. And we've learned some things, so that makes each production, we hope, better, and we continue to learn new things as we go forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's so important that you reach out to the candidates and you kind of do a little pre-prompt with them, because, I mean, some people have never been on TV if they're just running, right? So this is their first opportunity to really look good and make a statement. So
Yes, many candidates are quite nervous about being on this because not everyone's been on television.
right. Yeah, and it's a big thing.
Yeah, it is a big thing.
And
Yes.
one of our rules we have found is to try and make the candidates feel comfortable. So for example, just this week, there was a woman who was very nervous candidate, and so we just talked to her a bit, you know, and asked about what she did and so on before the event, and she wrote a very nice email to me yesterday and said, "Thank you very much. You got me through this and calmed my nerves."
Yeah.
Oh, that's
great.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
That's great.
So speaking of reaching out to people, do you guys have a favorite memory or something that's going to stick with you as time goes by?
Well, speaking of how we operate the forums, I remember the day I showed up without the bag. In the bag, we have our League of Women Voters banner, we have our timing instruments, we have glasses that hold water, we've got everything in there. And I showed up like half an hour before the event and realized, oh my goodness, the bag was at home.
Oh no.
So I jumped in my car. Fortunately, I live fairly close, raced across town, only cut off 1 or 2 people, got back in. I think it was like 3 minutes, and the staff here grabbed the banner, taped it up, and whew, we were all set. But that was near a disaster, not to have our banner and our trusty timers. And we also have cards that we hold up telling the candidate 1 minute left, 15 seconds left, and stop. All of that was in the bag. So, but I made it.
You made it. Good.
Yeah.
I think that Nancy and I have many memories. There are 2 that I would like to share. One is actually a running gag with the production crew, and that is the music, which I was hoping would be played in the clip that we did, is a parade march that it has been done, and I seem to remember it at all the wrong times, the tune. And so I suggested early on to Greg that we do a Jimi Hendrix national anthem from Woodstock. And so to their credit, Rob and Greg did check into it. They did some research, but it's very long and there are copyright restrictions, so it can't be done. So I have to say that the parade march is still with us. It has become a signature song. It's kind of a brand now, and I still sing it in my head, and will be doing so for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, that's one. The other memory was, again, speaking of nerves, there was one candidate who began to talk and express his ideas, and he took out a Bic lighter, and he kept like throwing this Bic lighter back and forth. And so he was doing it because he was nervous, but we were very nervous as well, because we had this vision that the whole studio would go up in flames, the curtain behind him, and he just kept throwing this Bic lighter back and forth. And so that was another very fond memory of the CTN forums with the League.
Well, you guys have had a lot of people come through your forums, and I mean, we appreciate that. I know the community appreciates that as well, so thank you.
Thank you.
So why do you think people or other organizations should utilize and support CTN?
Well, I think it's the professional staff and facilities that are here. We show up, the miking is done, the camera work is done, the timing is done, and it's absolutely top-notch. That's reason number one. Secondly, we have access to the entire community. The entire community can go online and look at your listings and go to the government channel, Channel 19, and find our forums. They're available on demand, and then they're shown from time to time. And then I just think the legitimacy of CTN, that people know this is a quality production, this is where you go for community information. And so we are very happy to be partners with CTN.
Well, in turn, I think we can say we're also happy to partner with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the only thing that I would add to what Nancy has been talking about is our goals and complement and enhance each other. And I think that what's really essential is that CTN, because it chronicles and archives government meetings, it provides transparency and open governance in our democracy. And these are very important goals for the League, because we are interested in ensuring fairness and openness in democratic processes. So I think that CTN as a archiver in terms of chronicling government meetings is terribly important as a kind of community watchdog. Even though they're not investigations, it still is providing the community an opportunity to see what is going on in our government. In terms of why should people use CTN, again, it's inexpensive, it's accessible to people in the community to express their views and to learn how to express their views about political and other issues and ways in which that they can, improve the community. And to me, it's a kind of introductory TED Talk learning place, and I think that's terribly important. And one point I would make is that we have watched, Nancy and I have watched over time, city council members or people who for the first time are running for school board, and when they come in the first time, they are not very skilled at expressing their ideas. But over time, as they continue to be city council members and are working in the community, when they come back to CTN for a forum, they become very skilled. And I think that this is terribly important, that it's an opportunity to express your views and to express dissent on occasion. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, and through this opportunity in 2011, you guys, all of us, won a Philo Teens Farnsworth Video Award.
Go Philo.
Yes.
Go
Yeah.
Philo. Yeah.
For our region, so that's very exciting.
And we did not know what the Philo T. Farnsworth Award was when we won it. So we're delighted that we did, however.
Do you want to kind of tell our viewers if they don't know who Philo T. Farnsworth is?
Yeah.
You do that, Janine.
Well,
I have no
I
idea who he
think
is.
what I learned is he was a pioneer in TV, and he may have been a pioneer in community TV for, as I understand it. And so we are very honored to be the winners on several occasions of the Philo T. Farnsworth Award, and we are definitely gunning for more.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
Right.
I mean, it's Forum-palooza, so
Yes.
I think we have a good chance.
Definitely.
So where can people go to find more information about the League?
Well, the League is like most other modern organizations in that we have an excellent website, lwvanarbor.org, and you can find voter information. You can find information on ballot proposals. You can find links to these forums and to other events that we've held. And then, of course, we also have a Facebook page if you search for us, League of Women Voters of the Ann Arbor area. And we post our immediate stuff, what is happening, what is coming up. We share articles that come to us from the National League of Women Voters. And you can like us and follow us on Facebook.
Perfect. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming in and sharing
You're
about
welcome.
your experiences. We always appreciate working with you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more on Experience. In the meantime, why not come in and experience CTN for yourself? Email ctn@a2gov.org for more information. To watch other CTN programs, visit us online at a2gov.org/watch-CTN. And just like the League, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CTN Ann Arbor. I want to thank our crew, Maya Lindsay and Matthew Drake on cameras, Jason Broniak on audio, Kelsey Taylor on teleprompter, Robert Horn on graphics, and Rich Musso as our set designer and director. And I'm your host, Alicia May. See you next time on Experience.